In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a pair of these Retevis EZTalk5 GMRS radios. What's up everybody, welcome to Freely Roaming. My name is Dan. GMRS radios are a critical part of our travels. We use these all the time, whether we're communicating with each other, when we're on the trail, when we're out and about, when we're in an off-grid situation, or in the car from when we're traveling with other people in places like Baja or other remote places where we don't have cellular service. But these modern GMRS radios have a lot more features than what you're used to. So today I'm going to show you just exactly what these can do, and also give you a demonstration of how these work in a real-world scenario. So first, let me show you what comes in the box and also some of the cool features that these have. Here are a pair of Retevis EZTalk5 radios. I want to show you guys these radios today. There are a bunch of cool features with this radio that you're not going to find in the older style traditional radios that you've sort of perhaps have used in the past. Specifically like the bow fans that everybody has that you can buy for about 25 bucks. Those are great. They are a great bargain for the features that it comes with, but compared to these newer radios, they do not even come close to what they offer. So let me go ahead and show you just first of all what comes with these radios. You get a pair in a box like this, or in two boxes rather. Each radio will come with the radio itself, the battery, a belt clip, an antenna that uses the standard SMA thread, which means you can replace the antenna with something bigger, smaller, or whatever preference that you have, a lanyard, a charging base, which is kind of nice to have, a plug for charging, and a cable, which happens to be USB A to USB-C. So you can plug this USB-C cable to the back of the charging base, and that will charge the radio in the dock. Or you can really plug any USB cable, USB-C power to it, and as you can see, that'll charge it as well. And what's even cooler is if you didn't want to bring all the stuff with you, you can leave all the stuff at home, and when you're out and about, just charge USB-C directly onto the radio. So that is a really neat feature that all of these newer radios have, is USB-C charging. And what I like about this one compared to the ones that I've used before is this radio actually has the charging port on the radio itself rather than as part of the battery, which I've had problems with the battery connector not working over a certain period of time. This one I have a lot more faith that it's going to work. And this radio is actually on right now, so let me just show you guys some sort of functionality of this radio. I'm in Southern California and there's just a lot of radio traffic, and I'm kind of up on a hill, so I hear everything. So even though I am on channel 22 in GMRS band and I'm using a CTCSS code for privacy, there's still chatter coming through. So I've got the volume turned to off so you don't have to hear it, but if I turn it on, you'll hear all kinds of chatter coming through still, especially if you change channels to some of the more popular ones. Let's see, channel 18 seems to be a very popular channel that people use. So 17, these are they're all using privacy codes. So I'll go ahead and turn that off just in case the chatter comes bleeding through. I just want to show you other things that are cool about these newer radios. First of all, here's the owner's manual, very thorough, walks you through everything about the radio, from the actual menu system to what each function does to the buttons. You can go through all that when you buy one of these, but I won't go through every little detail. I'm just going to show you the things that I like. What I like, it's got this color LCD screen that is a lot higher resolution than your traditional radio. So you can see both frequencies at the same time, both channel, and see what code they're on. You can also see these different icons that are on top. Buttons on the side, that's push to talk. That is a function button. And there's another function button that's dedicated for flashlight on the bottom, which is cool, better than being on the top. And also you can press and hold for a secondary function. This one will be set as an SOS function, which you can program in to send an SOS signal on a specific frequency with a specific privacy code. All that can be done in the settings. And this button I have set up to do a short press will toggle the bands from A to B, so I can monitor both channels and also communicate on both channels. And the long press will turn on and off privacy codes. So if I wanted to communicate with people who are not on privacy codes, I can quickly turn it off. And that's something you can also modify in the settings, which I'll show you. In the menu, we have main setting, zone, channel, volume, FM radio. If you want to listen to radio, it can do that. Call tone, signaling, scan, emergency. So this is where you can set different emergency settings. Weather, Bluetooth, radio clone, factory reset. So with this button, you can go into your main settings and you can go down to key function. And this is where you can set your short press and long press and what they do. I got my short press to go toggling between A and B band, and my long press to be turning DCS on and off. You can go through and change all of the settings in here if you want, but what's really cool is you can actually use your phone. There's an Android app and there's an iOS app, but I will tell you right now that the Android app has more features. So I've got one radio connected to my iOS phone. I've got the second radio connected to my Android phone. So by going into each one, I can click read data. So it's going to be like this. You can read the data directly from the radio to the phone over Bluetooth. And once you've got that downloaded, you can make all your setting changes right here, which is really cool. Everything that's in the menu is in here. Same with the iOS. Now, if you look at the two different versions, Android versus iOS, you'll notice that there are three icons on the bottom of the Android one that's different. That is because there are some features that is not in the iOS version. So I'll focus on the Android version for now. This feature right here, it is designed so that you can have this radio clipped to your backpack or somewhere else and just use your phone as the speaker and microphone to talk, which is really cool. So you have a push to talk button right here. You can press and hold, and that'll send your voice directly through the phone via Bluetooth to the radio and send it out on this channel. And you can also, for the same way, hear everything on your phone. So you don't have to have this radio next to you if you want to use it to talk. And this is called, under the Bluetooth feature, BT call, Bluetooth call. You just have to enable that by turning on Bluetooth app talk. Again, this is only available on the Android version. Another feature that's really cool is these radios. There you go, you can hear that. Turn the volume down now. These radios have GPS chip in them. Because it has GPS chip, it can actually send GPS location to each other over radio. If you don't have an Android device, you can still receive the coordinates by going into main setting, down to setting 7. I'll just use this one. You can see GNSS because they use the GLONASS, I believe the GLONASS network rather than the GPS network. The GLONASS info, it'll show you this device's current location. You can go into your share position setting and you can set it to share either with every transmit and or have it auto sent every interval, anywhere from 15 seconds to 30 minutes. I have it set up to do every 15 minutes. And you can change your distance units, speed units, and altitude units. So once you have that, every time I transmit, I have it set to send my location from this radio to whoever is receiving it upon transmission end. So every time you key up to talk, and when you let go, before the transmission ends, it'll send a series of tones that'll transmit the coordinates to this device. So I can show you how that works. When I key up, let go, and you'll see it says position receive on the left here. And now, if I go into my main setting, GNSS, I can go down to my list information. I have a receive list of all of the GPS locations that I've received. It'll just tell you the coordinates, so you have to actually look at the coordinates yourself and map it up onto a map of some kind, whether it be a paper map or a map on a mobile device. Now, on the Android app, however, when you connect it to it, there's also this map icon. You can click on the map icon and it will show you this device's current location. And anytime somebody keys up and it receives GPS location here, it will also plot their location on your map for you. And you can set it up with teams, so team members' name will show up on the map, their last position and their position time will show up on the map. And you can also turn on satellite view if you have internet service, but if you don't have internet service, which this device does not, still works. You can have it set up to do geofence, you can draw a track, or you can use this Android app to trigger a location send from this radio to all of the other radios that can receive. So I can just go ahead and do that, show you. So I'm going to go ahead and send location. You can see here, location received. And you can also navigate. You can select the track, set destination. Select track after you draw it. You can set destination anywhere on here. But then it's going to go to one of your mapping tools to be able to navigate you to that location. So that's really neat. This is a feature that older radios are just not going to have. But this radio, on top of being able to talk to each other like a traditional radio does, has all these cool little fancy modern features. But of course, you guys want to know how these radios work. So we will go ahead and show you guys a demonstration of how this worked in our neighborhood that we're currently in right now. We did about a 2-mile hike. It's about a loop. The furthest I was about a mile from the house that I'm currently at. So I had Luca use one of the radios from inside the house while we went for a walk outside of the house with the other radio. And you can see how that worked. All right. We're at the start of the trail here. We're on channel 20. I'm going to give Luca a call. Luca, do you hear me? Over. I'm just around the corner at the start of the trail.
I do not hear you. Over.
Okay, Luca. Thank you. This is going to be in the review video. So thank you for not hearing me.
I actually actually heard you very well. Actually, that's so crazy. Over.
Oh wow. What a change of signal strength, I suppose.
Uh-huh. That's definitely what happened.
Okay, so alright, so that sounds really good. I'm gonna call back again when we're at the end of this trail.
So, yes, sir.
So Luca is inside the house. So there's drywall, windows, doors. He's actually in the back of the house in that direction, probably about a quarter mile away. So signal's going to be tricky because definitely not line of sight. As you can see, there's all kinds of houses and shrubs and trees and plants between us, but we will see practically how well this works. So just to show you, we're on GMRS channel 20. I am using a privacy code, DCS privacy code. And this being a GMRS radio, you do need a GMRS license, which I have. The GMRS license is really easy to get. You just basically pay for it. You get a call sign, and everybody in your immediate family is allowed to use these radios under your license. So be aware when you buy these that you will be spending an additional, gosh, I forget how much I paid. I want to say maybe $80 or $90, but it's for a number of years for GMRS operating permit. Okay, Luca, we're at the end of that first stretch of the trail. Can you still hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're still coming in pretty much clear. Maybe just a slight hint of static, but you didn't say a lot of words, so I couldn't tell.
I am losing my mind here.
Okay, I heard you good that time. Except you were cut off by some guy with Indian accent at the beginning. Okay, we're going to turn down this little canyon area now, so I suspect the signal is going to go bad. Okay, so this is the really challenging part of this radio. We're going down into this kind of gully surrounded by houses and dirt on both sides for a good while. So I really doubt we're going to be able to hear anybody. Well, maybe other people, but probably not Luca on the other side, but we'll see. Okay, Luca, we're deep in the canyon now, so I'm guessing you're not going to hear me, or if you do, not very well. It's actually kind of surprising that I can still get you coming in and out when you talk. Okay. We too get to the other side, or higher up on top, so we don't have these hills on both sides of us. We'll get better signal. Okay, these last half a mile or so was pretty steep, but we've emerged on the other side on the top. So let's see if Luca can hear us now. Luca, do you hear me? Over.
Get the beans out of me. Over. Yes, I do hear you.
Okay. We're at the top. We're near the liquor store where you guys buy candy and the fire station. We're on our way back.
All right.
All right, so that worked pretty good. We're pretty far. We're about as far as we're going to be on this hike. And I can hear him and he can hear me really well. So there you go. That is the Retevis EZTalk5. These are really cool radios. They're bulkier than what you're probably used to, but what I like about that is that it does give it a little bit more protection and more battery life than normal. These are bigger, but they're not necessarily heavier. And you can also see that this green cover and also the color on the buttons, front and back and on the side, are not typical of the black radios that you're used to seeing. I actually kind of like that because this playful color makes it look like that you're a recreational user when you're out on the trail and you come across other people. It doesn't look like you're some kind of law enforcement or military out there doing some kind of mission. So that's actually one of the benefits of having something colorful and playful. But of course, there are people who like that look, and there's tons of radios out there for those of you guys that do like that. But for me, I think that's a benefit of these radios for the kind of use that we're going to have. I hope you enjoy this review of the Retevis EZTalk5 radios. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.